Kybalion, Chapter 15. Hermetic Axioms. The possession of knowledge, unless accompanied by manifestation of expression in action, is like the hoarding of precious metals, a vain and foolish thing. Knowledge, like wealth, is intended for use. The law of use is universal, and he who violates it suffers by reason of his conflict with natural forces. The Kybalion. The Hermetic teachings will always have been kept securely locked up in the minds of the fortunate possessors thereof, for reasons which we have already stated, were never intended to be merely stored away and secreted. The law of use is dwelt upon in the teachings, as you may see by reference to the above quotation from the Kybalion, which states it forcibly. Knowledge without use and expression is a vain thing, bringing no good to its possessor or to the race. Beware of mental miserliness, and express into action that which you have learned. Study the axioms and aphorisms, but practice them also. We give below some of the more important Hermetic axioms from the Kybalion, with a few comments added to each. Make these your own, and practice and use them, for they are not really yours until you have used them. To change your mood or mental state, change your vibration. The Kybalion. One may change his mental vibration by effort or will. In this direction of deliberately fixing attention upon the more desirable state, will directs the attention, and attention changes the vibration. Cultivate the art of attention by means of the will, and you have solved the secret of mastery of moods and mental states. To destroy an undesirable rate of mental vibration, put into operation the principle of polarity and concentrate upon the opposite pole to that which you desire to suppress. Kill out the undesirable by changing its polarity. The Kybalion. This is one of the most important of the Hermetic formulas. It is based upon the true scientific principles. We have shown you that the mental states and the opposites were merely two poles of the same thing, and that by mental transmutation of polarity might be reversed. This principle is known to the modern psychologists, who apply it to the breaking up of the undesirable habits by bidding their students to concentrate upon the opposite quality. If you were possessed of fear, do not waste time trying to kill out fear, but instead cultivate the quality of courage, and fear will disappear. Some writers have expressed the idea most forcibly using the illustration of a dark room. You do not have to shovel out or sweep out the darkness, but merely by opening the shutters and letting in the light, the darkness has disappeared. To kill out the negative quality, concentrate upon the positive pole of the same quality, and the vibrations will gradually change from negative to positive until finally you have polarized the positive pole instead of the negative. Reverse is also true, as many have found out to their own sorrow when they have allowed themselves to vibrate too closely to the negative pole of things. By changing your polarity, you may master your moods, change your mental states, remake your disposition, and build character. Much of the mental mastery of the advanced Hermetics is due to the application of polarity, which is one of the important aspects of mental transmutation. Remember the Hermetic axiom quoted previously, which states, mind, as well as metals and elements, may be transmuted from state to state, degree to degree, condition to condition, pole to pole, vibration to vibration. The Kybalion. The mystery of polarization is the mastery of the fundamental principles of mental transmutation or mental alchemy. For unless one acquires the art of changing his own polarity, he will be unable to affect his environment. An understanding of this principle will enable one to change his own polarity as well as that of others, and few will but devote the time, care, study, and practice necessary to master the art. The principle is true, but the results obtained depend upon the persistent patience and practice of the student. Rhythm may be neutralized by the application of the art of polarization. The Kybalion. As we have previously explained in previous chapters, The Hermetists hold that the principle of rhythm manifests on a mental plane as well as a physical plane, and that the bewildering succession of moods, feelings, and emotions of other mental states are due to the backward and forward swing of the mental pendulum, which carries us from one extreme of feeling to the other. The Hermetist also teaches that the law of neutralization enables one to a great extent to overcome the operation of the rhythm of consciousness. As we have explained, there is a higher plane of consciousness as well as an ordinary lower plane, and the mastery by rising mentally to the higher plane causes the swing of the mental pendulum to manifest on the lower plane, and he, dwelling on his higher plane, escapes the consciousness of the swing backward. This is effected by polarizing of the higher self, and thus raising the mental vibrations of the ego above those of the ordinary plane of consciousness. Is akin to rising above a thing, allowing it to pass beneath you. The advanced Hermetist polarizing himself in the positive pole of the being, the I am pole rather than the pole of personality, and by refusing and denying the operation of rhythm, raises himself above his plane of consciousness, and standing firm in a statement of being, he allows the pendulum to swing back on the lower plane without changing its polarity. This is accomplished by all individuals by attaining such any of self-mastery, whether they understand the law or not. Such persons simply refuse themselves to be swung back by the pendulum of mood and emotions as the best death biasty, affirming the superiority. They remain polarized on the positive pole. The master, of course, attains a far greater degree of proficiency because he understands the law which he is overcoming by the higher law, and by use of his will he attains a degree of poise and mental steadfastness, almost impossible belief on the part of those who allow themselves to be swung backward and forward by the mental pendulum of moods and feelings. Remember always, however, that you do not really destroy the principle of rhythm, for it is indestructible. You simply overcome one law by counterbalancing it with another, and thus maintain an equilibrium. The laws of balance and counterbalance are in operation on the mental plane as well as the physical planes. And understanding the laws of each enables one to overthrow, whereby he is merely exerting a counterbalance. Nothing escapes the principle of cause and effect, but there are many planes of causation, and one may use the laws of the higher to overcome the laws of the lower. The Kybalion. Understanding of this practice of polarization, the Hermetists rise to the higher plane of causation and thus counterbalance the laws of the lower plane of causation. By rising above the plane of ordinary causes, they become themselves, in a degree, causes instead of being merely caused. By being a master of their own moods and feelings, and by able to neutralize the rhythm, as we have already explained, they are able to escape a great part of the operation of cause and effect on the ordinary plane. The masses of people are carried along, obedient to their environment, the wills and desires of others stronger than themselves, the effects of inherited tendencies, the suggestions of those about them, and other outward causes, which tend to move them about on the chessboard of life like mere pawns. By rising above these influences causes, the advanced Hermetists seek a higher plane of mental action, and by dominating their moods, emotions, impulses, and feelings, they create for themselves new characters, qualities, and powers by which they overcome their ordinary environment, and thus become practically players instead of mere pawns. Such people help to play the game of life understandingly, instead of being moved about this way and that way by stronger influence and powers and wills. They use the principle of cause and effect instead of being used by it. Of course, even the highest are subject to the principle as it manifests on higher planes, but on the lower planes of activity they are masters instead of slaves. As the Kybalion says, the wise one serves on the higher, but rule on the lower. They obey the laws coming from above them, but on their plane, and those below them they rule and give orders, and yet, in doing so, they form a part of the principle, instead of opposing it. The wise man falls in with the law, and by understanding its movements he operates instead of being its blind slave, just as does the skilled swimmer, turn this way and that way, alone, coming as he wills. Instead of being as a log which is carried here and there, So is the wise man as compared to the ordinary man. And yet both swimmer and log, wise man and fool, are subject to the law. He who understands this well on the road to mastery. He who understands this is well on the road to mastery. And yet both swimmer and log, wise man and fool, are subject to the law. He who understands this is well on the road to mastery. The Kybalion. In conclusion, let us call again your attention to the Hermetic Axiom. True Hermetic transmutation is a mental art. The Kybalion. In an above axiom, the Hermetists teach that the great work of influences one environment is accomplished by mental power. The universe being wholly mental, it follows it may be ruled only by mentality. And in this truth it is found. And in this truth, it is to be found an explanation of all the phenomena and manifestations of various mental powers which are attracted so much attention and study in the earlier years of the 20th century. Back of and under the teachings of the various cults and schools remains the constant, the principle of mental substance of the universe. If the universe be mental in its substantial nature, then it follows that mental transmutation must change the conditions and phenomena of the universe. If the universe is mental, then mind must be the highest power affecting its phenomena. If this be understood, then all the so-called miracles and wonder workings are seen plainly for what they are. The all is mind. The universe is mental. The Kybalion.